Today I went to go play cards for the first time in a long time at this new place. And I went in there and I knew that it just wasn't my scene anymore. You know what I mean? It was weird. When back years back, it would have been just fine. But now it's different. You know what I mean? I'm just like, almost immediately, I'm like, this isn't for me. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that has to do with me being saved or what. I changed of what I used to like, leaving the old world behind. You know, what, like the pastor was saying at the Baptist church, leaving the dead behind. When you're saved, you're going towards life. You're leaving the dead behind. And it was kind of a dead environment that, playing the cards in the kind of a dead environment. But before I would have been fine with it, like years back, not now. That's what hit me today. Like, damn, I outgrew this or something, or this isn't my scene. But when I walked out the door, I just left. A line from X-Men Origins, of course, a movie line, always comes into my head for everything that happens in the day. That, like, I've watched so many movies, like a movie line comes into my head, that relates to what just happened in the day, And it was a line in the X-Men Origins movie of Wolverine. Sabretooth is trying to get it into Wolverine's head. Like really get into his head. We're not like them. When are you going to figure it out? Because they're mutants. You know what I mean? You can't be like them. The humans, you know what I mean? And that line just went through my head. Like, he's right. We're not like them. When am I going to figure this out? I'm not like them. You know what I mean? I'm not. It's almost like I'm one of the mutants for real in real life. Like I've said before, I'm one of the mutants of society. I am. That's why I can relate to the X-Men movies. I'm nothing like the regular normal humans. Nothing like them. Nothing. And God knows that as well. And he made it even more obvious to me today that I'm not like them. I'm like, God damn it. I'm not like them. When am I going to figure it out, And another thing that happened in the day is like the line from the First Corinthians book. One of the chapters, that says, put aside childish things. When I was a child, I did childish things. Now that I'm a man, I put away childish things, something like that. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And that's been going through my head throughout the day. Probably no accident. God's trying to say, put aside all your childish ways. Childish thinking, childish everything. You're a man now, all right? Because he knows I have been acting like a child in a lot of ways. I have. Especially in these videos, when it comes to God. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to not feel like I'm a helpless person on the planet to the point where I am a child, no matter what I do, I'm at the mercy of this world, no matter what. Because I was so helpless most of my life. I really was helpless. That I always think I always will be helpless. Even if I try to be like a man, the world would make me helpless. It would. And that's what I always think about. The world can make me helpless because it has before. You know what I mean? They could put me in handcuffs and lock me up. Accuse me of something I didn't even do. Helpless, like I said. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it's true though. You know, they can lock you up for many things. They can. They can make you helpless. Even as an adult, they can make you helpless. As if you were just some kid, you know. And I know this as well. I do. To the point where I'm like, what's the point? This world's gonna lock you up anyways. You know. If the people controlling things found out I was making videos like this, they would do everything in their power to shut me down, especially if I got more speed, more weight, more popularity, more backing from God, all that. The whole world, like you would see physical stuff trying to take me down, physical communities, governments trying to take me down. And God knows that. No bullshit. It's no bullshit. That's why I'm like, let's just end this now and let's put me 6 feet under before it gets really insane. You know what I mean? Because I know God's going to keep on extending this up, kicking it a notch and kicking it up a notch. You know what I mean? You know, he wanted the whole world to know his son Jesus on the planet. He wanted the whole planet to know. And eventually he's going to want the whole world to know about me on the planet. You know what I mean? No bullshit. The effort God has made to make me even known to this point has been insane. Just known to you amount of people has been insane. The amount of effort God has put it to just you amount. Just over 3,000. The effort that God has just done for that amount. He ain't gonna stop. Trust me. He's gonna keep on going. Until there's like 100,000 people watching me. And like 200,000 people watching me. 300,000 people watching me. To the point where no one's watching television anymore. They're just watching me now. I swear to God. God's gonna keep on upping this. I swear he will. I swear he will. If he keeps me alive and free, he'll keep on upping the ante. God will. I know he will. No bullshit. No bullshit. People think I'm making it up. I was a no-name, nobody, recluse, hiding in his room, no one cared about. All of a sudden, I'm right in your face, right now, almost to 4,000 people. You know what I mean? From a nobody, curled up in his room, boxed in from his family, and a religion with no hope for anything. God brought me to this point. God's serious, all right? You know what I mean? Like someone that didn't even want to be in the spotlight most of his life, me, to the point where I'd rather die than be in the spotlight. Doesn't matter. God's bringing me in the spotlight. No bullshit, you know what I mean? Because he knows I've seen the ugliness of this world for a lot of my life. I've seen it. You know what I mean? He's like, everything you've seen, you're going to talk about. One by one in each video. You're going to talk about the horrors of this world that you've seen firsthand. No matter how long it takes. Until you're a bright, bright, bright star among the darkness that consumed you to nothing. Basically, the ones that submitted you, you're submitting them with your brightness. You're submitting the whole world now. You know what I mean? That's how I think it's gonna go. Because just like God won't stop. He won't stop. I know he won't. He won't stop. Because he knows if I die of natural causes in my sleep, hallelujah. God knows I'm like, whew. You know what I mean? I got out of that huge thing that God wanted me to do. Whew. You know what I mean? He got me off the planet. Whew. You know what I mean? No bullshit. I'm like, whew, that was close. I could have the whole world against me all at once. Like, legitimately, not just my family of origin against me this time. The whole world against me. I died before that point. Yes. Whew. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Wasn't nailed to a cross. Oh, yeah. Anyways, enough about that. But that's the thing that's been going through my mind. Like, put aside the childish things. And I'm like, you're going to make me stop watching Dragon Ball Z, aren't you, God? You're going to make me stop watching Dragon Ball Z as well. Aren't you? Aren't you? I just need a little R&R time. That's when I do the Dragon Ball Z, a little rest time. You're going to take away that childish thing from me too, God. Are you? Are you? All right. I'll stare at the damn ceiling. I'll watch nothing. I'll stare at the damn ceiling for you, God, and be a good Baptist, all right? I'm not sinning if I'm staring at the ceiling. No watching Dragon Ball Z with gore, you know. Not imagining Goku is Jesus, you know, when he isn't. Goku's way better than Jesus. He would have saved me back in the day. Yes, he would have. Not later on. Like this, you know what I mean? Goku's way better than Jesus ever will be. Don't you forget it, Jesus. He like smites me down. But in Jesus' defense, he did come in to save the day. When I was way older. When I was way, way older, he came in to save the day. Not when I needed him to save the day when I was younger. That's why Goku's better. Don't you forget it. Anyways, those kind of heroes don't exist. Don't you forget it. It's hardcore suffering and nothing else. Jesus knows that. So, if he wants me to put aside childish things, I'll show him put aside childish things. I'll walk around every day carrying a cross. That's how hardcore I'll be, you know. No more childish things. I'll be you, carrying a cross around. Like I've seen some people do sometimes. They carry a cross around, thinking they're you, when they're not, you know. Just kidding. But yeah, another thing that happened throughout the day, I'm like catching myself doing childish things. I'm like, damn it. I'm like getting cut. I'm like catching myself. I'm like, damn it. God knows I do these childish things in my mind. And, you know, I used to watch UFC a lot, you know, growing up. I was a big fan of UFC when it was really getting big, you know. Like, that's when I was living with my family, you know. I spent a lot of time, like, in my hostage kind of situation, watching UFC DVDs, you know what I mean? Passing the time in my room watching UFC, seeing how the world is outside of this house. This is how the world is outside of this house. It looks great, you know. That's what I always thought. I want to be a part of that world, that UFC world. Always thought that. I did go to one live UFC event. I did. It was pretty cool. It was pretty intense, you know. But anyways, enough about that. Here's where it's coming from. Tito Ortiz is in town. You probably heard of Tito Ortiz, former UFC champion, mixed martial artist, the bad boy, Huntington Beach bad boy. You know what I mean? Is he more bad than me? Maybe. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. He's just playing the bad guy role for the fans. But I admit, it drew me in. I wanted to meet him. You know, I wanted to see him in real life instead of on pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like I've seen him on screen on pay-per-view. I wanted to see Tito in real life, and that's what I was trying to do today. But I didn't get to see him, you know what I mean? He was going to be at these weigh-ins, and so I showed up at these weigh-ins, you know. One of his people that he coached, he was going to be there, so I was going to try to meet Tito Ortiz today. But they wouldn't let me see him, you know, because I had to buy a ticket to the event tomorrow. And I admit, I'm trying to be smart with money right now. So I didn't buy the ticket. I'm like, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, that was a childish thing. I'm trying to, you know, I'm like starstruck, you know, trying to see not my hero. I was more of an Iceman fan. The Iceman was my hero growing up. But Tito was all right, you know. I didn't like him at first because he was talking trash about the Iceman most of the time. But then I learned to respect Tito. I'm like, all right, he's a warrior. That's what drove me into the UFC. There were real warriors in there. Not all of them. Some of them were just fighters and wannabes. But some of them were real warriors, you know, like the Iceman, the Natural, and Tito Ortiz. Those three were warriors. Yeah, they were. So I wanted to see another warrior up close in real life today, you know. I did, and I was gonna video him for you guys as well. You know, kind of like how I videoed me going to Nick Diaz's fight when he came back. That was an old video. But, you know, Nick Diaz didn't win that fight, by the way. But I was hoping he did. But I was a Nick Diaz fan. You know, he's my age. We're like 2 weeks apart in age. You know, I'm like, I have to root for him. You know, but anyways. He was legit. But anyways, enough about that. I was trying to see Tito, you know. Wanted to see him with his big head, you know. But I had to buy tickets that cost like $70. I'm like, I can't do that. And I don't even want to go. I don't want to go watch the cage fights. You know, Tito wasn't even fighting. You know, and he's too old anyways. But I just wanted to see Tito. You know, shake his hand and be like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? And then in my mind, I'm like, that was childish. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm a successful YouTuber. In my mind, I'm successful. You know, I'm a successful, you know, in my job. I'm one of the best at my job. Not YouTubing, but my other job. I am one of the best, actually. Don't you forget it. So, I'm like so good at it. It's like I was born to do it, like out of the womb, you know? Like no bullshit. Enough about that. Plus YouTubing, I'm pretty good at YouTubing. Naturally, you know, I think. I don't have to try hard. I don't read a script like a lot of people other people do, you know? Or I just say whatever I want, and it works. Some people want to watch it, some people don't. Doesn't matter. I don't force you. That's the key. I don't twist your arm and say like, dislike, subscribe. I don't do that. I'm so confident in myself. I don't need to. Just kidding. But anyways. So I didn't get to see Tito. But in my mind, I'm like, maybe that's one of the childish things God was talking about, you know. I shouldn't be wanting to see Tito like I'm some kid, you know. Being starstruck, you know. I'm the top dog, you know. I already know, like, no one suffered more than me. I'm the top dog. I already know that. God knows it as well. No one has, except Jesus. He ain't on the ground, so it's me. You know, people should be wanting my autograph. Like John the Baptist asked me one time. I'm like, yeah, here's my autograph. I'm like, don't sell it. But anyways, so all these childish things that I was trying to do throughout the day, I'm like, damn it, I do a lot of childish thinking. I do. I think God wanted me to see that, you know. The childish thinking, the childish ways, the childish everything. I'm like, damn it. gotta figure it out, Become a man out of nowhere, Stop my childish thinking, childish ways, childish acting, Even childishness on videos, So I gotta man up, Gotta man up, Again. Somehow I gotta man up again. Put aside my childish thinking, So that's what God's trying to tell me. Because no bullshit. A lot of people don't think so, but God really is serious about sticking with me. Like, no bullshit. It seems like. I'm like, because a part of me thinks, like, if I'm helping God out with all this other stuff, I'm helping my earth father. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm helping them both at the same time, it feels like. Because I always saw my earth father, like God, as the same type of person. Cracking the whip behind me. Cracking the whip behind me. Serve God. Serve God. Serve God. Like my whole life. Can you see why I was not a fan of either one? Either my earth father, religion, or God. All three, I wasn't a fan because of that. Do more, do more, do more. You're not enough. You're worthless. Do more, do more, do more. Serve the kingdom. It's not enough. I'm like, I'll be nailed to a cross and it wouldn't be good enough for you, which is factual. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be good enough for my earth father. If I was nailed to the cross for real for the sins of humanity, not enough for my earth father. I'd still be a failure. You can write that down. You can write that down, publish it, all that shit. It's no bullshit. I could have been the savior of the world in front of my earth father, dying for my earth father's sins. I'd still be seen as a failure. I'm not even joking. God knows that's true. If there is a God, he knows that's true. So, but I don't think God's not been like that crack in the whip kind of person. But at the same time, I'm serving God, but in a different direction, if that makes sense. A direction that satisfies me, that I want to do. A direction that I want to do. More my style. Not the cult style. You know what I mean? Because that's not my style. The cult made me attempt suicide. You know what I mean? That's not my style. If it makes me want to do that. You know what I mean? That ain't my style. Cult ain't my style. I don't care if they say it's God's religion and they put Jesus on the building. His name on the building, I don't care. It's not my style. If it's pushing me to end my life, it's not my style. So I'm trying to help God a different direction, what I think is a better direction for everybody, a more righteous direction, more my style, Probably not the way Jesus would do things, but hey, Jesus ain't down here, it's me. Don't forget it. It's me, not him. So I got to do it my way. I help God my ways. So far, it's been okay. If it wasn't okay, God would stop me. I know he would, God would stop me, somehow. He would end my life. I was told that before. If God wanted me dead, he'd make me dead. I'm not dead yet. I'm doing something right. Because I'm not dead yet. That's how I know. Someone that doesn't want on the planet at all. God keeps him alive. He's doing something right. I'm doing something right. I don't want to be here, but God keeps me alive. I'm doing something right. That's how I see it. Because God's like, someone that doesn't want to be here, I don't want him on the planet. Get him out of here. He doesn't even want to be here. And I know God's he's probably taking people out that don't even want to be here at all on the planet. Serve no purpose, nothing. They don't want to help the planet at all. But he hasn't done that to me, He's like, I see some benefit. God sees some benefit in keeping me alive. Jesus does as well, Jesus has been my advocate. He's like, Father, give him time. Give him space. No one else believed in him. No one else thought he could amount to anything. But we know better, don't we? Jesus is saying that because he's smart. You know what I mean? Like I said, God saw the future so well that I was basically submitted, held hostage. He saw the future so well, he got me to freedom to this point. You know what I mean? He saw that I would help him to this point if I got free, basically. Yeah. So Jesus was like, we know the future. We know what he can do. All right. He gives just give him a little motivation, a little self-esteem, a little space. Just let him think he's stronger than me for a while. Yeah. Let him think he's stronger than me. All right, I will. Like, no bullshit. Jesus is the reason I'm still alive. Like, me actually trying even a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm like, no bullshit. Because if there was nobody better than me at all, in suffering, nothing. Strength, nothing. I wouldn't be motivated to do anything. You know what I mean? If there was nobody better than me, no one that could outsuffer me, basically. Nobody could match me. And since somebody has matched me, it's pushed me more. It's like kept me going, you know? And it was pretty funny today. You know how I was like saying, I'm going to be like Jesus when it comes to women. Yeah. Like I've just been like, oh, there's an attractive woman. Just walk by her by. Don't even do a double take, nothing. Just keep going. You know, I'm like changing the way, you know, not getting distracted by beautiful women. Just, you know what I mean? I'm focused. You know what I mean? Like Jesus did this. I'm going to be solid. I'm going to be solid. You know what I mean? In this area. But some say, like I was thinking about, some say Jesus got with Mary Magdalene, you know. But that doesn't mean he lusted for Mary Magdalene. Exactly. You know what I mean? I thought about making a video, and I wrote Bibbles this before, but I don't know if I will make a video. Bibbles reminds me of who Mary Magdalene was to Jesus back in the day. The type of person Mary Magdalene is. That's who Bibbles reminds me of. From everything Bibbles has written to me since she first started on my channel, from everything she said, I'm like, I can visualize this Mary Magdalene type of person, you know what I mean? That was like the type of person that Jesus would loved, like Jesus did love the most, you know what I mean? Not saying I love Bibbles the most, you know? I'm not saying that. But that's just what she reminds me of, like, she's like Mary Magdalene, you know? But I'm no Jesus. Remember that. But anyways, I'm like, I don't deserve a Mary Magdalene, but somehow Mary Magdalene got allowed in my life, a Mary Magdalene type of person, you know what I mean? I don't think she said one mean thing to me. Not one mean comment. Can you imagine that with all the videos I made? All the bullshit videos I've made? You know what I mean? That got venom thrown at me from all sorts of people. Not Bibbles. Not even once. You don't think I remember all that stuff, but I do. God knows I remember like all that stuff. You know. Anyways. I might make a video about Bibbles and Mary Magdalene, maybe, to embarrass you more, you know. But I'm serious. Like God wanted this Mary Magdalene person into my life. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. If I were to see you in real life, you'd still talk to me like I'm a real person. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, why don't you marry her, Adam? Well, she's taken, all right? And she lives across the ocean, all right? And I stand alone, anyways. Warriors stand alone, anyways. But she's there, Mary Magdalene from a distance, you know? Mary Magdalene. I felt like I had to make a video about this for some reason. If it was pressing on me, I had to make a video about it. Like, if it was just, I don't know. If Mary Magdalene and Bibbles were next to each other, they'd be similar to each other. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right there. You know, they would treat Jesus very well, and Jesus would love them, you know what I mean? Very well. Not the point of a relationship, though. That's all I'm saying. But she was his lead woman, was Mary Magdalene for Jesus. That's you, Bibbles. You're like, Adam, please stop. Adam, please stop. I ain't stopping till the fat lady sings, all right? And she's only hummed a few bars. That's it. Only hummed a few bars. I ain't stopping till she sings. Just kidding. For some reason, I'm like, why is this getting pressed to me? Like this Mary Magdalene type of thing. Bibbles and Mary Magdalene, you know? I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't know. Maybe you're like Mary Magdalene. I don't know. Anyways, enough about that. Man. But yeah, put aside childish things. Like this Mary Magdalene talking Bibbles. Put aside that stuff, Adam, please. We got work to do. God's trying to tell me we got work to do. Like, quit messing around. Quit thinking Jesus is Goku from Dragon Ball Z. He's not. All right. Let's get working. All right. All right. God's serious. He is. Like I said in another video, I didn't think God was serious for the longest time when it came to me. You know what I mean? Because if anybody in my family or anybody that knew me growing up would tell me that God will one day eventually single me out and like take me as his Padawan and like, oh, he's going to utilize me for his purposes, they would have all laughed. All of them. Every single person that knew me, especially my parents, they would have laughed. If like, this kid is going to be important to God one day. He really is. Like, no bullshit. He's going to utilize him. And he's going to be at this huge purpose. They all would have laughed. All of them. To the point where, like, we thought God hated you. You know what I mean? On top of it. That's why this is great. You know what I mean? Because a lot of this way, I'm like, God's just joking. He's just joking. I'm just going to be funny. Until I'm homeless. I'll be funny till I'm homeless, Last as long as I can and be funny until I'm homeless. God's like, no, I'm serious. We're going to take this farther. I'm like, shit. Man. So he's making me cut out all childish things, He's making me cut out bikini bars, Dragon Ball Z, UFC, you name it. He's making me cut out all that shit. until I'm a boring Baptist that reads the Bible 24/7. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Until I'm a boring Baptist that reads the Bible 24/7. Until I have it memorized. Until I'm so boring that no woman will ever want me. Ever. Thank you, God. Might as well just make me a priest on top of it that can't marry a woman, all right? Might as well do that while we're at it, you know? That'd be the worst thing ever for me. Like, I'll be so boring that even if I got married, she'd leave me because I'm so boring and I only read the Bible. I'd be so boring, she'd leave me for somebody else that doesn't read the Bible and is more exciting. But then she'll realize he's a narcissist. Then she's stuck with a narcissist. Then she'll wish she's stuck with the Bible thumper, me. Yeah. Anyways, enough about that. But I don't know. Like I said, I wish there was somewhere that I could rest. You know what I mean? And put the world on hold. Just put the whole world on hold. And I can catch up on rest, you know. Go to a healing chamber, you know. Something. Go to a massage therapist. Something, you know. But my last experience with the massage therapist wasn't very good, as you guys know. They wanted a happy ending thing. It was awkward. I didn't bite. Like, no. But anyways, that's the main thing that was going through my head today. Was the putting aside childish things, childish thinking, childish ways. Because I admit, I do think pretty childish. I do. I admit it, yeah. I was in a hostage situation most of my life. I don't know much else but childish things, you know. But despite all the childish things, I still know. I came close out suffering a real God. I know that. Don't you forget it. I came close. Despite all childish things I do, that much was real. I know that much. I don't know how close I got, but oh well. It doesn't matter anymore. God's like, quit talking about that. We're moving on from out suffering Jesus. We're moving on, all right? Like, all right. What do you want me to do? Heal the blind? That's funny, actually. I have a neighbor that's blind. I mentioned it in a video before. She actually is blind, and I'm grateful I'm not blind. That much, if anything. Being blind plus in the condition I'm in would be hell. Absolute hell, you know? So it's like, this is no joke. Walking by her door today, this is no joke. I was practicing being like Jesus, healing the blind. You know what I mean? When I was walking by her door, I'm like, I heal you of your blindness. You know what I mean? I was being serious. I'm like, I heal you of your blindness. So if she is not blind, the next time I see her, it worked. I can heal the blind like Jesus. I practiced and it worked. Yeah. No accident, I have a blind neighbor. I'm talking about being healed like the blind man by Jesus. I have a blind neighbor, you know? Like, I can practice healing the blind. May not work, but I can practice, you know? Put in the intention, the effort, you know? If she's walking around not blind, then it worked. She's like, I don't know how I was cured. I'd be like, I know how. I know how you were cured. You probably asked Jesus your whole life to cure your blindness. Then along comes me. I cured your blindness, with the power of Jesus, probably. But anyways, enough about that. Just been tired, man. Like I said, I wish there was somewhere I could rest instead of just one night's sleep. And then that's it, it's like restore my body. I lived a long time. Long time. To the point where I'm like, God still wants me to keep going. That's how much I've been going. And like, God wants me to keep continuing. But He knows I have no other option but to keep continuing. You know what I mean? There's nothing else to do except to keep continuing. Put aside my childish ways as well. Quit being a child. Be a man. No more video games. I haven't played video games in a while anyway. I don't have to do all these things that I used to survive growing up. I don't have to do them anymore, but I don't know that. I'm like, oh, I don't have to watch Dragon Ball Z to survive the psychopath parents in the same house. I don't have to watch Dragon Ball Z anymore. I don't have to play video games anymore to survive the household. Like my brain is starting to get it now. I don't have to do these things to survive. And God's let me realize that you're not a boy trying to survive in a psychopath house anymore. You're not a boy trying to survive in a psychopath house anymore. You're a man. That's what God's trying to tell me. You're a man now. You don't need to do all these things. Even Dragon Ball Z, you don't need to do that anymore. Like, oh, I'm actually really free. Okay. I'm really, really free. It's not a lie, and they're not just going to track me down and pull me into their psychopath web again. Like I think, I'm like, oh, this is too good to be true. They're going to pull me back into their psychopath web, and I'll be a hostage again. Anyway, God knows I was used to that, to the point where I'm like, I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else but to be held hostage. I don't know anything else. God knows that, But anyways, that's all I want to say for this video. I think it's good enough. Sorry, I don't speak loud enough for some of you, and I don't make a presentable video for some of you. God knows I'm just trying to make things work as I go, doing the best I can in the condition I'm in at the time. You know what I mean? It's just me out here. You know what I mean? I don't have a wife working a part-time job to help with bills and stuff. God isn't working a part-time job to help me with bills and stuff, so I'm exhausted. That's why I look like this. I'm exhausted. Just me working for myself. Anyways, donations are helpful though. They have been helpful for sure. So if you want to donate, I could put more time in my presentation. You know what I mean? I can clean up more, make my hair nicer. You know what I mean? Say more adult stuff. Be more manly, Put aside my childish ways, But it's hard when you're barely scraping by as it is. You know what I mean? But anyways, I think that's all I'll say for this video. Put aside your childish thinking. We have manly stuff to do. I think a part of that is like God knows I wasn't impressed with I was not impressed with the men of the world, men of God. So I'm like, I'm never becoming a man like them. I'm not becoming a man. I'm going to be a boy forever, like Peter Pan. I'd rather be a boy than be like them, the men, the abusers, the abusive men of the world. I'd rather just be a boy forever, all right? Be like Rufio, one of the Lost Boys. But like I've said before, I didn't realize Jesus was the leader of the Lost Boys this whole time. This whole time, he was the leader of the Lost Boys. So I'm like, shit. He's like, I knew you would escape eventually. Then I adopted you as my lost boy. I'm like, all right. He's like, teach you the ways of the jungle, survive out here in the jungle with no family. So it feels like surviving out here in the wild with no family. With Jesus. I'm in the wild with Jesus and I have Jesus issues, I'm like, this ain't ever gonna work. This ain't ever gonna work, I don't know why Jesus thought this could work. I don't know why he thought this could work, Oh yeah, I'm gonna help the one person that has Jesus issues more than anybody on the planet. I'm gonna help him out. It'll work out. It'll work out. Another thing I thought about today was like, I seriously thought about this, and this might offend God or something, but I'm like, God really hasn't impressed me most of my life. Not really, Look at me, the condition I'm in. Should I be impressed with God? No. If God was impressive, I'd be looking a lot better right now. Feeling a lot better. Less injuries. If God was really impressive. But oh well. What choice do I have anyway? It's either walk this road, try to do your purpose with God, or call it quits on your life. It's no bullshit. Like that's the options. It is. I can't go back to the cult. I can't go back to family abortion. God knows that. It's either I walk this road and help God out, do the purpose for God, or I call it quits on myself officially. Those are the options, and God knows it. It's like, you're not going to serve your purpose? Be my guest. Call it quits on yourself. Be my guest. I'm like, fuck. I have to do this purpose now. If I want to live. You were designed for the purpose anyway, so God designed you for a purpose. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Sure, you can be funny. Sure, you can work hard. Sure, you can do all these other things. At the end of the day, you're here for the purpose. That's why I was made. And wherever I go, God tracks me until I do the purpose. Mark my words, that's a true statement right there. I'm like, I feel like I've done enough purpose. I feel like I've done enough purpose, but God says no. God says no. Doesn't matter. Hope some people are having fun out there, having a good time out there. I wish it was me that was having a good time. But as a saved person, I can't have fun anymore. Because I'm saved. I can't have fun. Nope. Only Bible reading for me. 24/7. No fun for you. No fun for you once you're saved. Boring life till you reach heaven. Yippee. Anyways, I think that's all I'll say. Maybe take it easy, for tonight, There was another video I was going to make, but I've been pushing myself too hard to do too many things. You know what I mean? So, just hope God helps things to work out still, If I take kind of a break, Anyways, that's all I'll say.